brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business is humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Working for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have them yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys, let me fix this. I'm sorry. You're getting all that shock static. I should be coming up soon with a list of new things. And for people who have watched the stream before, yes, I shave my face. I'm not always gonna look like this. I wanted to trim it down a little bit just so it would look cleaner, and then I nicked a little bit too much off of one part, and I was like, ah, crap. Well, I gotta shave it all because I just want it to all be even at the very least. So, by tomorrow morning, this will be filled in. Unfortunately, I'm gonna look like a baby for the stream. But tonight, I'm trying to finish Sherlock Holmes. In the case of the silver earring, I think I don't have much left. In fact, I wanted to start the stream an hour before, so I'm hoping this is under an hour and 30. Let's hope to God that is the way. I was having issues with my phone, and that got my attention for most of it, trying to figure that out, and it just concluded to gotta figure it out tomorrow. But hopefully we're done by 9 or like 9:15. So enough said. Let's just jump right into it. The game right here. I'm gonna pull up the guide real quick. Holmes. Sorry, guys. Alright, sorry about that. We have the guide up. Let's go. Wait, no, I think we're going this way.
I am being watched. Take heed. I can go no further.
I'm being watched by who? I think we can finish this tonight. I think there's only about maybe like an hour and a half left. If not, then we'll just have to complete it the next stream. I unfortunately got a wrench thrown into my plans. As always. Happens every time.
Is it near there?
Must be a dead end.
I smell smoke. Quick, some water to douse this fire, else we lose precious evidence.
Run, Sherlock, let's go!
Quickly, I must find some water.
I don't like this. Run, Sherlock, run! No! No! I made a horrible mistake! No! I think we can still make it. Oh, I don't think we can make it. Ah! Dang it! I was like, ugh, a little bit. All right.
I can go no further.
Of course. Go, Sherlock. Not in the mood for your lollygagging.
Be. Is it near there? I smell smoke. Quick, some water to douse this fire, else we lose precious evidence.
Wait, isn't it raining? Then again, I read somewhere that rain actually doesn't completely stop fires, depending how big they are and if they're contained enough.
And now, quickly, I must find some water.
Now we kind of know where we're going. Okay, we should be fine. They're not gonna trick me this time. Haha! Now thinking about it, we probably won't get done with this tonight. Considering that the stream is going to be shorter than usual, and I'm suddenly remembering a lot of different locations that we still need to go to, like a whole theater, if I remember right. Cool.
My word, I can't see anything. Ah, now I see better. All these papers were gathered and burned. I need to find evidence somewhere else. I need something. This is ink. It is not English, and it fell on the floor maybe 2-3 days ago. Someone has slept here. Someone has slept here. Footsteps, size 10.
Oh.
I need something. Ah, I was positive. It moves. Very interesting. These letters are faded and illegible. These letters are faded and illegible. This ink is not made in England.
Probably France? I've always tried to avoid boredom in any possible way. First it was just few rounds with my fellows, then the alcohol all the time, read them hundreds of times. Enough. My story is worth as much as another story. I've got nothing to be ashamed of, nothing. I was ruined and misunderstood. This swine enjoyed success in his life because of my mother's money, but half of this money held by him must be given back to me according to all that is right. Absolutely, Your Honor, half. And I wasn't going to let myself so easily when you were so far away, and when you dream owing to him I would be able to never more to this curse foul continent. Shades of the devil, I was told about it at school when I was quite small. Shades of the devil. Yes, certainly they are demons. They whisper sweet words into your ear. They listen to you and make promises to, they say they will help you when you are down, but no. They help you to rise only so that they can lead you to hell. They lifted me, one under each arm, but when I made them cease in the midst of their prattle, I then heard the sound of the demon wings. Demons haven't done this on purpose, I swear. I'm sure he knew. But why? Why have money? It is certain, Your Honor. They...
Someone knelt here often. How curious. Someone... A bottle of liqueur from the Richmond Abbey. Someone has slept here. Someone has slept here.
I'm not sure what I'm missing. Hey, Stealth, what's up? How you been, man? I need to find where... It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I shaved today. I look like a different person. I feel different. I feel like a weight off my face. Not streaming very long tonight because I got held up when I wanted to start. So, unfortunately, probably won't get this done tonight, but I'm gonna try. Trying to find where I am. What? That's weird. I guess I got everything. Okay, well, I guess we just have to go back. To be honest, I don't really know. If I don't get done with this tonight, I'll definitely plan on getting this done the next stream and then starting the next game. So yeah. And I'll be sure to put in timestamps for the YouTube video that will differentiate. So if you're just looking for one particular game, you'll be able to hop right to it. Twitch! Well, no, Twitch does that automatically with chapters and stuff. I forget that it does that, because I don't switch games in the middle of streams often. It just is one of those things. Oh shit, my phone's nearly dead. That's not good.
Let us return to Sherringford Hall.
Why did we have to do that? We did all that walking. When we could have just done that after we... Whatever. You know, I'm gonna go put my phone on the charger really quickly. I'll be right back. So unnecessary! Oh my god, dude. The most unnecessary walk in my life. And I've had to go back and forth to so many places. To Sherringford Hall we go.
Oh, Dr. Watson, beg pardon for imposing on you, but I must get a message to Inspector Lestrade, and...
He is just inside, and I am sure that he would be most eager to assist you.
No, it would be better if he would hear this from you rather than myself. The present situation requires me to be elsewhere. Please be good enough to tell Inspector Lestrade that I renounce any rights to the succession.
What?
I will not be at my offices. I would not wish him to waste time looking for me there. Goodbye, and I thank you for your kind assistance, Dr. Watson.
I was upstairs and I could have sworn I just saw that blasted scoundrel Grimble through the window.
Yes, you are right. But you have no chance of catching him now. He has run away as if the very devil himself were after him.
It is not the devil that's after him, but myself. He would fare better if it were the devil on his trail.
He gave me a message for
Okay,
you,
Lestrade, chill out.
He said he renounces any rights to the succession.
What do you say? This is astonishing news. This will not prevent me from finding him. I want to know how it so happens that a dead man is found in a building to which only Grimble is known to possess the keys. By the way, where is our great detective? Oh, here he comes now.
Hello, gentlemen. What were you discussing?
Grimble has renounced all possible rights to the succession of Bromsby Enterprise.
Nothing to alter the
Excuse
fact
me.
That he is the ideal guilty party. Sir Bromsby had very important news that he intended to announce on the day of his death. What if this surprise news was the ouster of Grimble and Bromsby's intent to name his own daughter to succeed him? Do you think something otherwise, Holmes?
No, it is nothing. May I ask you a question, Lestrade? Would it be possible to keep this new information about Grimble from Miss Bromsby, but for a few days?
It's a deuced odd request, but I presume that you must have your reasons. I would do
He's
my
Sherlock
best to
Holmes.
visit
He always has a
Private
reason.
till the day after tomorrow.
Thank you, Lestrade. By the way, I would like to speak with Miss Bromsby. Where can I find her?
I do believe she's with her faithful knight in her sitting room. This gentleman never, so to speak, leaves her side. If this story spares them,
Alright, this guy's starting to get creepy.
Soon be renowned as the most beautiful couple in London.
Oh,
I'm sorry to
God.
think about it, but my heart feels heavy that I may have been an instrument of their sorrow.
By the way, my brother Mycroft has answered one of my letters, and his information seems to be most interesting. You can look at it if you would like. I have had a copy made for you.
You mean us? Calidasa Abyss. Oh, that bridge itself. Dear Sherlock, with time of the essence, here is the information I managed to gather. Werge Company was founded by Joseph Grimble and his partner Raymond Waters. The majority of the capital was provided by Waters, who was the son of a wealthy ship owner. When J. Grimble died in 1886, his shares passed according to his will to his partner, Mr. Waters. The business of the Calidasa Abyss is one that we as British people are loath to remember. In the entire history of colonization, we have played falsely with the image we claim for ourselves. The truth of this murky business is still protected by the military authorities, so I possess but a small portion of the facts in this matter. Because of the Calidasa Abyss, the supply convoys of the garrisons from the northwest of Bombay had to make long detours. A decision was reached to construct a bridge over the abyss. The construction was entrusted to a contractor who enjoyed strong support within the military echelons, a Mr. Melvin Bromsby. Bromsby committed to perform this task in a time frame that many specialists considered extremely ambitious, given the difficulties associated with the location and other practicalities. The abyss was situated in the middle of the jungle, located in a distant and isolated place. A battalion was assigned to assure the security of the construction efforts that would take several months. One of the officers formed the battalion was Captain Lowry. What did I tell you? From the beginning, nothing went right with the project. They talk of how poor the soil proved to be and the reoccurring accidents. The remains from the ritual sacrifices were found at the bottom of the abyss, which caused fear in the superstitious Hindu workers. There was also the presence of a man-eating tiger nearby and other exotic mysteries. Thus, in the next few weeks, the construction suffered considerable delays. At the start of the second month, the officers in charge of the battalion asked to be retained in their role of supervision, regardless of their personal hardships with this assignment. The command in Bombay supported their request, as it was a great opportunity to economize on the costs of construction, which were considerable. Then the officers asked for men from the nearby villages and the towns to strengthen the teams on site. The soldiers following the convoys complained that large barriers barred their view of the site and prevented assessment of its progress. They were also denied passage beyond the enclosure. They further noted that although they brought workers to the site, they had never escorted any from the place and back to their homes. They were also deeply concerned that they could not identify the source and unbearably foul stench that surrounded the work site. Some people claimed they had fallen ill merely from breathing the smoke from some invisible fire that comes from the impenetrable mound. The construction was eventually completed on or near schedule, but a considerable number of the Indian families still do not know what happened to their husband, father, son, or brother. They left one day to build this bridge, never to be seen nor heard from again. One of the officers, Captain Lowry, tried to reveal the truth that everyone preferred to be left unknown. Oh, he was abandoned by his superiors and his comrades. He wanted to leave Bombay and apply for the post of the principal at a penitentiary in Italy. It occurs frequently with non-commissioned officers, as there is no better director than a former officer of the British Army. Everyone knows it and is envious because of it. But the army refused to grant him leave. They threatened him with charges of desertion if he left the Indian territory. They must have been afraid that one day he would reach England and find attentive ears for the story which must not be told. He died ill and alone, and here a strange request for a soldier of the British Army he asked to be cremated in the Indian manner. This last request was in fact refused by the army. All of his property was bequeathed to the military orphanage Bahami in Bombay, in hopes that his information shall prove helpful. Good luck. Well, yeah, look at that. I think that just goes to show that Lieutenant Harrington is Captain Lowry and has a good reason to hate Bromsby and Grimble, because essentially their desire to finish a bridge on time led to his complete disregard and dishonor as a soldier, and he got put into the penitentiary in the Brazil, where he met Wyatt Collins, who was sent there hating the fact that his inheritance was practically stolen from his eyes. They met, shared their hate for Bromsby, and cracked a plan to kill Bromsby. Now, I thought there was a third guy who was the French guy. I think that guy was actually Wyatt Collins. And the reason I say that is because the same spot we found the ink, the liquor, and all that was... Well, it might still be the same person. It might still not be the same person, but I think this Wyatt Collins guy spent time acting in France and got very acquainted there. Excuse me. So that's where the ink came from, or Brazil, and that's my connection. I think he's the one who's doing the impersonations of the French guy who moved stuff around so it could give Lieutenant Harrington a chance to shoot him and basically get away with it clean. That's my theory right now. So I think there's two assailants, and I think they were trying to get the accountant in on it, but they killed him. That's my guess.
Closed.
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 Okay, cool. I just wanted to know where to go. That was all.
I hear laughter coming from the powder room.
What? Oh, there they are.
Good afternoon, Mr. Holmes. James has just been showing me the photographs from his hunt.
Oh, but I wasn't the only hunter.
My respects, Miss Bromsby. Hello, Lieutenant. If I can have a look. I must say, this is quite a handsome specimen, but it is surprising how light it appears.
That bull weighed near 1,000 stones.
I really like this game. The story is very interesting and well thought out.
That is but another souvenir of my travels to Africa.
And if you've seen any of the previous game that Frogware's made for Sherlock Holmes, huge step up.
I came here specifically to inform you that everything goes well with the case, Miss Bromsby. But I need to ask you a question of a more personal nature. If the lieutenant would be so gallant as to give us a moment of privacy.
Your servant, Mr. Holmes. I will retire to the smoking room.
This dude. This dude. I don't like this dude. Thank God. I just want her to be like, oh, thank God he finally left.
I should reveal one of my hints. Does this photograph belong to you?
Yes, it's mine. This is the photo of an actress who was with their touring London company. They gave a performance at the town near my boarding school in Switzerland. This is Miss Davenport. She was kind enough to meet with us in her dressing room after the show.
And how would you describe this actress?
Oh, she was fascinating, on the stage and in life as well.
We pretty much have Lieutenant Harrington figured out.
You see, they were available.
Done. And we know Wyatt Collins is involved, but we don't know how he got involved.
When I met with her, she showed me this beautiful earring she wore. It was in the shape of a wave with foam, made entirely of sparkling stones. It's strange, but I have never talked about this with anyone till now. I do hope I see her again someday.
Perhaps. Now, listen to me, my dear child. I must ask you to speak to no one about our conversation, not under any circumstances. The discovery of the truth rests on your silence.
Translation: if I hear you talking shit, I'll be back here.
I've got to go now.
I understand.
We gotta translate Sherlock and his nice way of talking to beat my coarseness nowadays. Are we gonna get to do a quiz?
Lieutenant seems a very commendable person. Miss Lavinia is fortunate to have him near.
No, she ain't.
Lestrade was saying that he has found more evidence of Grimble's trail. The corpse we found at the cement factory may well have been an accomplice and the true murderer of Sir Bromsby. Grimble could have easily obtained an invitation for him to the reception. Then, some time after the deed was done, Grimble eliminated his accomplice to prevent his speaking. Or perhaps not. Whatever are you musing about, Holmes? Holmes?
What is it, Watson?
Blast it, Holmes! You haven't heard a word that I have said.
Well, when what you say start making sense.
Have you had the opportunity to redeem the item with the receipt we found at Hunter's?
Oh, yes, it was a...
Oh yeah, there was Hunters.
In order to get the best price, Hunter agreed to redeem the item within 2 days' time. Look, these appear to be real diamonds.
The silver earring.
It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings.
Yes,
The
we
question
shall.
should be answered yes or no.
All right.
Testified by the evidence or testimony received during.
I
the
got this
investigation.
time. I'm feeling very confident right now. Alright, was the leader of the thugs who attacked Holmes directly connected to the case? Yes. Da, 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 da. Fairfax Theater. Yes, he is connected. Because it says Fairfax Theater. Easy question. Can we say that the person who killed Simon Hunter is skilled with weapons? Yes. You told me that there was a sound shot from the bungalow. When we got here, the door was locked. Right through the heart. Boom. Easy. Add me a common haunt. I'm gonna say yes. This day seems kind of easy because like we only talked to like one person at each location, so a common haunt for wanderers. Yes, basically saying it's a common place for people who are just like moving about, you know. Found the ruins be the same as a previous document. Let's see. Okay, I think this letter of the alcoholic is definitely one. Because we're trying to connect it, so I'd probably say yes. Let's see. No. Yes, because look. This A, boom. I could be a detective. Alright, see this A and how it's kind of written? Don't be stupid, Gribble. Accept my conditions unless you be assured that I'll tell everything I know to everyone at your shot. Sorry for Hold. He knows something. That seems to connect. See that A and how it had that, like, it was kind of big and the twist? Well, if we look at the letter from the alcoholic, look at all these A's. It's the little things, it's the little details. Is it easy for a retired English officer to find work as a prison warden abroad? Yes. This one's kind of easy, it seemed. Let's see. Where does it say? He wanted to leave Bombay and apply for the post of the principal at a penitentiary in Italy. It occurs frequently with non-commissioned officers, as there's no better director than a former officer of the British Army. Everybody knows it and is envious because of it. Boom. Did I just, like, plow through these questions? They are pretty easy. Today was pretty easy, because, like, we pretty much have it figured out on what happened. But just to go through, I'm pretty confident about this. I'd be very surprised if I was wrong. Was the leader of the thugs who attacked Holmes directly connected to the case? Yes, and I used a document describing the guy that attacked us because it says that he used to work fire at the Fairfax Theater, so he's connected to the case in terms of the Fairfax Theater. Can we say the person who killed Simon Hunter's skilled weapon? I said yes because Officer Appleby, fantastic name, said he was shot right through the heart. So that means he's probably skilled with a weapon and knows where to shoot. Are the ruins near Richmond's Abbey common haunts for wanderers? I said yes because the brother talked about how people occasionally go there to hide out in the ruins and they often steal the liquor from the Abbey. Question 4. Can the handwriting in the message found in the ruins be the same as that on a previous document? Absolutely, because on the threat and from the letter from the alcoholic, the A is written in the same exact way. Is it easy for a retired English officer to find work as a prison warden abroad? I said yes, because the letter from Sherlock's brother said that he wanted to apply to work in a penitentiary in Italy, and it is possible because it is a common thing that former British officers do due to their time in the military.
We must have made an error once.
What?
Let's check our answers.
Ain't no way, bruh. I was 100% certain. I've just been completely humbled. What the fuck?
The question should be
Alright.
yes or no, and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
This has to be it. I don't see any other way. Let's look at this one. I can't believe I got that wrong. Oh my god. Let's see. Details about his death. He was killed by a bullet right through his heart. There was just one shot. At first glance, it appears to have been a small caliber weapon. His landlady told me that he was a common fellow with nothing to remark about, no friends to speak of, not even a lady friend. I still think yes, because it's shot through the heart, and you're too late. You give love a bad name. Sorry, I'll stop. Are the ruins near Richmond's Abbey common haunts for wanderers? Let's look at that one again. That could be where I messed it up. It is very large. If someone were to hide in there, it would be most difficult to find them. This one has to be yes. I'm not changing my mind on that one. This one has to be yes as well. Unless... Mr. Waters? Huh? Okay. I'm gonna change this one to no.
We must have made an error. The question should be
Damn.
answered yes or no, and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay. Okay, I'm very confused because I'm like 100% certain I'm right on all these. Directly connected? Could that be it? Oh! So it says, but they denied him that. So let's say, no? So maybe that's where I get it mixed up. They want you to say no because he didn't get it. Okay, I can see that. But I had the right thing in mind. I was like this close. Watch, I'm still gonna get it wrong. So I'm still confident on this answer. I'm confident on this answer. I'm confident on this answer. I'm confident on this answer. Now I'm confident on this answer.
We must have made an error, Watson.
What?
Let's check our answers.
Alright. I tried. My reasoning is completely sound, though. I stand by my decisions.
The question should be answered yes or no, and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay, that was right. That was right. That was right. Oh! I see. Okay. Okay. Completely understandable mistake. I understand. It's this one because they want us to find two letters that were previous in the case. They don't want us to connect the current letter with the old one. So, alright. No, that makes complete sense. And it should be... Let's see... a letter. That's not it. Is that it?
It is simplicity itself.
Yep.
We have answered.
Should have noticed the other letter. I was this close. I had the right idea in mind. I wasn't completely wrong.
Hello, Watson.
Good morning, Lestrade. You are an early riser.
Good morning, Lestrade. You look really tired. You must have had a lengthy meeting with the minister.
But hold on, how on earth could you know that, Holmes?
I can read you like an open book. I jest with you, gentlemen.
It's not the proper time for jesting, Holmes. But upon my word, how did you find out about the minister? I was assured that only 3 or 4 persons at most had knowledge of this meeting.
Oh, I would rather withhold my explanation.
So you must be aware of the subject of the meeting.
Indeed, but Dr. Watson knows nothing of these events.
Well, our incorruptible yet ever practical minister shared the thoughts of the Chancellor of the Exchequer with me. They've decided that it would be most imprudent, given the crisis we're under, for a young lady, barely 18 years of age, to take control over one of the country's 3 biggest building enterprises.
I begin to understand, but
According to the minister, despite his bad habits due to the lack of consideration for his partner, Grimble is the only individual that the council has faith in to reverse the current state of the Bromsby holdings. It was further explained to me that if there is a choice to make in the direction of my investigation, and lacking any new evidence to the contrary, I must take these concerns into account.
this is outrageous.
And you, Lestrade, what are your personal thoughts on the matter?
I really can't say, Holmes. The prospect offered by Grimble seems so attractive. He had credible motive to murder Bromsby and then foul it. In addition, he was the only individual with apparent access to the shed at the cement factory where we discovered the corpse of his presumed accomplice. However, the only gadfly to this theory is his statement to Dr. Watson when he clearly renounced all rights of succession.
That is an item of singular curiosity.
It is difficult for me to believe that a man who can plan and execute 2 or 3 murders with such cool presence of mind would give up an opportunity of this magnitude so easily. I also have spent sufficient time at Sherringford Hall to have a high opinion of Lieutenant Harrington.
I agree with you. This young man, by all accounts, has an unimpeachable character.
I have no evidence to cast doubt on the truthfulness of his testimony. We reconstructed the crime, and it was evident from where he stood he could easily see Miss Bromsby despite the crowd. Really, Holmes, I'm not a man who would hand over an innocent girl to the executioner, even should it cost me my career.
I am pleased to hear you say this, Lestrade. By the way, Lestrade, have you any knowledge of the place known as Aston Theatre?
Is it that shabby theatre that lies near the bank of the Thames?
Yes, several weeks ago it was acquired by the Fairfax Theatre Company. Their international tour appears to have been most successful, as they are set to open their new play in a week. Dwight Richards happens to be their director.
Hey, there's that letter.
The author of the threatening letter that we found on Bromsby's desk. I must admit, I thought the letter to be of small consequence. After all, it involved a matter from so long ago.
Sometimes old wounds are the most painful. In fact, we are leaving for Aston's right now. I know that you're quite busy, but if you feel like joining us, meet us at noon. Aston's Theatre. Here we are.
I know Sherlock has got this pretty much figured out. He just needs like 1 or 2 more details.
We are not open to the public yet, gentlemen. Oh, bless my soul. I can hardly believe my eyes. It is the young Sherlock Holmes, isn't it?
Watson, allow me to present...
This dude looks like a theater teacher.
Today was one of the last great...
Like today theater teacher. Like,
He also took great
looks like he has like a little flannel collared shirt under there. I know that's probably not it.
of the theatrical arts.
So he can...
I'm really into theater, so this is funny to me.
Don't listen to him. This is the most talented student I've ever met, upon my word, as an actor. But...
Oh, it's his theater teacher.
So, am I speaking to the former actor or the world-renowned detective today?
Tell me, what you know about the Fairfax Theatre Troupe?
2 months ago, they returned from an international tour. Richards, their director, had managed to secure the necessary funds to buy back Aston's. It seems he had finally resolved his troubles.
He was in some kind of trouble.
Oh, it's always the same with those tours abroad. Your star actress marries an emir. Another time, the entire troupe has their luggage stolen. Anything is possible.
and whatever occurs is usually nothing good. But who would have imagined such a tragedy?
What tragedy?
What tragedy?
Oh, sorry. Getting ahead of myself.
Started about 3 years ago. At that time, the troupe was housed at the Fairfax Theatre. But a series of failures forced the owners to sell it at a substantial loss. The owners were 3 individuals. Dwight Richards, their current director, Miss Davenport, their star actress and the mistress of Richards, and lastly, a young actor, costumier, and makeup man called Jeffries. They decided, after the sale, to launch an international tour in order to raise funds.
Their success was assured?
Yes, the fame of English theatre is worldwide. During their travels, Jeffries and Miss Davenport developed a close relationship, which was much to the regret of the hot-headed Richards. He is a gypsy by birth. No one can be more possessive and quick-tempered than a gypsy.
Hey, yo, relax.
In short, a dark...
Chill it on the prejudice, man. Jeez.
America, located not far from the Amazon. One evening, after their performance, someone noticed that Miss Davenport and Jeffries had gone missing.
I hope I said prejudice in the right context. I think that's what it means in this situation. I'm not sure.
And Richards?
Richards was implicated in some...
So I'm sorry if I completely got that wrong, because I just don't know what it means and I'm ignorant, you know?
There was no proof of his involvement, and no bodies were ever found.
What a strange case.
If you need more details, you should ask the actors. As you may observe, they are rarely able to hold their tongues.
Okay, that's true. In a general speaking sense. Actors like to talk. Not all of them. But that's something I noticed when I was at theater in high school. At least like young, maybe that was just young teenagers. I know I was one of them, so. I was at fault at times, not gonna lie. Come, Watson. Follow me.
Hello, young man. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm sorry. You startled me. I'm looking at her. Her. Are you from the press? Of course you are. You must be here to interview her. Ah, the play is wonderful, and Miss Caroline will surely shine. If only my father could have seen this day.
Your father?
Yes, I am Bruce Aston, and my father was Clyde Aston, the former owner of the theatre. It may have fallen into some disrepair, but during its time it was well loved by so many. A host of young actors debuted on that venerated stage. Why, it was at this very spot where Mr. Richards first met Miss Davenport.
Have you ever heard of the Fairfax Theatre?
It is the theatre which was demolished. It seems to me that it had been owned by Mr. Richards together with Miss Davenport and a friend of theirs. They left on an extended tour, but I think it went badly for them. After his return, Mr. Richards bought the theatre back from the bank, and I do hope his good fortune will continue.
Well, we can hope.
With the talented Miss Caroline, I think anything is possible. And the building is still solid and comfortable. Though the bank took over the theatre, they left the keys. From time to time, I would do what I could to tidy up a bit or see to a broken window.
Are you a part of the troupe?
Yes. When Mr. Richards noticed how I had worked to keep the place up, he hired me. I helped Mr. Kirby a little, and also Mr. Trumpet backstage.
Goodbye, young man.
Goodbye, sir.
Excuse me. May I ask you some questions?
Naturally, I'm listening to you.
You are are rehearsing at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, we are in rehearsal for the play we are to perform at the month end. Are you critics or reporters? As you know, we just came back from
They even let us answer.
tour. We had a triumph everywhere we performed.
Tell us about this international tour.
We performed in France, in Switzerland, and even for an Arab prince. We were met with acclaim at every stop. If tragedy had not occurred, we were to appear next in New York. But fate had other plans for us.
What sort of tragedy?
Oh, surely you must have heard about it. All because of those in our company who assumed the right to reveal every distasteful and intimate detail of a most tragic event. Anything to gain publicity for themselves. It is positively scandalous.
Will you tell us?
A professional actor such as myself respects the privileges of the press and the public's right to know.
Your sensitivity honors you.
Please, continue your story.
The events took place in a most sordid place in Brazil named Guacamole or Babiamo or
Oh.
like that. I still can't stop asking myself what we were doing there in the first place. But to be brief, our talented costumier, Mr. Jeffries, had been having a tete-a-tete with the beautiful Miss Davenport. Unfortunately, she was still very much the mistress of our director, Mr. Richards. I tell you, the tension was unbearable.
Really?
In the view of a professional,
I love Sherlock, man. He just knows how to let people keep going.
Miss
Really?
Davenport was spending the whole day closeted in her room. Mr. Jeffries trembled so uncontrollably that he was unable to do our makeup. Mr. Richards stepped in, and I must say, he was a pitiful substitute. May you never be so ill-fortuned as to have your face in his large, hairy hands.
And then?
Our first performance in that town was naturally well received. That very night, a tragedy took place. Mr.
Tell us.
Davenport went missing not long after the performance ended.
Okay.
It was impossible to find them. Then we heard that Mr. Richards was arrested on suspicion of murder regarding Miss Davenport and Mr. Jeffries. We were outraged and most indignant. Some entertained thoughts that we would never leave that godforsaken place.
How was the matter resolved?
Fortunately for Mr. Richards and all of us, the prison warden and the local chief of police was an Englishman. Lacking direct evidence or even a corpse, the accusations against Mr. Richards could not stand. He was set free on the spot. I think that had it not been for the intervention of that young expatriate, we might have been stranded in that Amazonian swamp for all eternity.
Oh. An ex-warden like
That's all right. Don't hesitate.
Lieutenant Harrington?
Help.
Alright, I'm kind of glad to be done talking to him. He just didn't get to the point.
Don't listen to that milk toast. It's positively weak in the knees over redheads. A policeman is just a policeman. That's it. If Richards isn't in jail, it's only because he had nothing to do there.
We were talking about the tragedy which occurred during your previous tour, and...
You aren't the press, are you? No. In my opinion, you seem more like policemen. Well, listen closely, inspectors. Miss Davenport was nothing more than an aging woman who adored seeing all the men at her feet.
What? Don't you mean...
She toyed with both Richards and Jeffries like two little puppets.
Oh, it sounds to me like you're jealous.
But you wouldn't harm a hair on her head. And if you are eager to be so helpful, please, find my red-haired wig.
we must continue our investigation.
Of course, of course.
Hello, miss. I'm sorry for disturbing you.
Oh, you are welcome.
Are you rehearsing the new play?
Yes, we are hard at work. Excuse me, did I just hear Mr. Kirby calling you Holmes? Is it really possible that you were the great detective, Sherlock Holmes? And you were Dr. Watson?
Yes, I am.
I'm investigating the facts of the terrible events that occurred during the company's last tour.
Oh, I see. You were interested in that case. It's still a complete mystery, even for those who were there.
Tell us about Miss Davenport.
She was fabulous and positively mesmerised men. She confessed to me that she had been indiscreet with our costumier, Jeffries. She had left Richards before, but she always came back to him. She said he understood her completely without her even saying a word.
Until that last time.
Goodbye.
Oh, no, I wasn't done.
You're welcome, Mr. Holmes.
Shit.
What else can I tell you?
Sorry, I need you one more
You're
question.
an admiring expert, but your earring is absolutely magnificent.
Oh, that was a gift from Veronica. She got it along with 2 other matching earrings and a small jewel case. She gave me this one, another to Doris, and kept the most beautiful for herself. Veronica insisted on cleansing it herself weekly with a special cleanser. It was remarkable and kept the earring all sparkling like stars. When I saw her last, Veronica was wearing her earring. She never parted with it.
Where can we find Doris?
She must be in her dressing room.
Goodbye, miss, and thanks.
You're welcome, Mr. Holmes.
I shouldn't laugh. Just come in completely knocked out.
Why can people not allow actors their peace and quiet? They walk through here as if it were a common thoroughfare. Nothing strange about that. They still haven't bothered to change the locks. Anyone can enter at will and abuse me. Me, who in the 50s, I was rather good actually. Did you see me? With the best, me. And they just treat me and, oh.
What?
Are you rehearsing?
Everyone has his own technique. Cheers.
Drink to that.
Miss Small told you about
Anytime I've been on stage, I haven't practiced by getting drunk before.
Can't be
No.
serious.
No, I haven't been on stage
No harm.
until I was before 21, so
For dying of thirst and parting with it.
probably couldn't get away with that anyway.
My best friend Veronica, who I love like my own daughter.
Aww.
She gave it to me. My little Veronica. She... Veronica.
Aww.
Do you know what has happened to your friend?
Left. She left with that Jeffries. Oh, I know what they say. That Richards murdered them both. Why not? He did everything for them. Everything. She was naught but a common flower girl. And that Jeffries was a mere servant. He made them actors. Yes, actors. Yes.
Oh, we'd better leave you to your work. I mean,
Out! I need to concentrate.
Hold on. Want to save the progress that we have made just in case. Because you never know. I think we're getting very close to the end, so I might be hit. If I keep pushing.
what chaos.
Just texting my girlfriend. I usually like to talk if she goes to work, but I'm not going into work until later tomorrow, so I might be able to. Why am I playing Watson right now?
Flying dragons of the Virgin Islands? The land of gargantuan man-eating crabs? Love in the heart of the Black Desert? This author seems to be particularly inept.
Through the fly that...
A set of costumes. There are 30 listed.
But I count only 29. Yes, the artillery officer uniform is missing.
Lieutenant Harrington, bro. It's so obvious. It's elementary, as Sherlock would say. This road is the only sure way to reach Gakagamiayo, the town of the parrots. Indeed, the branch of the Amazon where this town is situated is impassable due to the rapids. Many explorers have capitalized there and were likely eaten by piranhas as their body were never found. Even the native Indians from the nearby jungle refused to try these rapids. Instead, they employed their sturdy boats for sedentary fishing. Their ancestral mode of fishing is quite original. They use primitive spears to harpoon big fish while they watch from their dugouts. They conduct elaborate ceremonies to invoke the power of their gods before fishing or hunting or having much success with it. I don't know whether these gods exist, but the savages are incontestable archers. I hate when they call them savages. You should look after yourself so as not to offend them if you wish to negotiate with them. Certain tribal members are more sociable than the rest. They are agreeable to offer tobacco, some weapon, or incredible handmade objects in trade. These magnificent crafted items are often adored with the splendid green parrot feathers in honor of the conquistadors who named this town. You can also acquire leather goods made from the silky skin of the arboreal monkeys, which are hunted in this region. This leather is comparable to the touch of the finest silk and unique in all the world. Unfortunately, as in many other cases, there are those unscrupulous people who manage to give the taste of the alcohol to these naive populations. This poses a substantial threat to these small tribes in their future. There is also the steady arrival of gold prospectors and adventurers who have chopped down their forests and made the Indians more aggressive. Some of my guides have clearly suggested that these primitive but picturesque culture will one day end in a bloody bath.
Through the flood...
Who is it?
Mr. Richards, my name is Sherlock Holmes. You may put away your knife. Rest assured, I am indeed Sherlock Holmes. Thank you for receiving us, Mr. Richards. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I will answer your questions, Mr. Holmes, only because I have heard about you.
Oh, thanks.
Would you tell me about Sir Bromsby?
I will not lie to you, I hated Bromsby. He is the cause of all my troubles, I swear. I have often dreamed of killing Bromsby with my own two hands, but I didn't kill him.
I would totally do this awful thing, but I didn't do it. That doesn't really help your case.
Do you know an Asian named Wang Jie?
What would he be doing there? Well, in the days of the Fairfax Theatre, I once employed a Chinese fellow who went by that name. However, I was forced to dismiss him because he was a great deal of trouble, and I've never seen him since that time.
You retained several keys from the Fairfax Theatre, don't you?
Well, I don't understand the purpose of your questions, but yes, there were indeed two keys for the Fairfax Theatre main door. When the bank took possession, we gave only one of them to Bromsby's assistant. When asked, we lied and said there was only one key.
But why?
Well, we kept the other one out of spite. We had thoughts of returning in the night and wreaking havoc, but we had no opportunity as we left for abroad after the transfer to go on our tour. I suppose the key may have been lost somewhere along our travels.
And that's where the second key is. And that's why it wasn't Grimble that used it.
About the disappearance of Miss Davenport.
Because he lost it in Brazil, where there was Wyatt Collins, Lieutenant Harrington. Dude.
About the disappearance...
I don't know why you want to talk.
Thank you, Mr. Richard.
It is nothing.
I should reveal one of my hints.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this can't be possible. How did you come by this? Dear God, if only someone like yourself had been present that evening.
Please tell us what's happened.
That night, after the performance, I left to stroll alone along the riverbank. The next morning, I had barely returned when I was seized by 2 local policemen and led to a prison cell for interrogation.
Why?
When I got there, an Englishman, the local chief of police, told me that a deserted boat had been discovered along the opposite bank of the river. Inside the boat, I found a star covered with blood. It belonged to Veronica, who had vanished, along with my other partner, Jeffries.
And then what happened?
No one could prove my innocence, but they also found no proof of my complicity in these events, nor had they found any bodies.
Tell us a little more about your partners.
I had met Jeffries while on tour. He was just a young tramp drunkard. Whatever my feelings
Jeffries
were,
is Wyatt
no
Collins?
pity for him now. He betrayed me. But it wasn't the same with Veronica. I fear the pain caused by these events will forever haunt me.
I think Jeffries and Collins might be the same person. Maybe. Or... I don't know. Let me think about that more.
Thank you, Mr. Richards.
It is nothing, Mr. Holmes.
This man is a wonderful actor.
Maybe, Watson. Maybe.
We are in the backstage area.
May I ask you a few questions?
It all depends on what you're asking.
Where were you the night of the murder?
My job
Oh,
is
sorry.
making
Jumping the
this
gun.
look a bit neater.
Could you tell me what happened in Brazil?
Yes, my lord, I was there when it happened. But Mr. Richards takes it very personally if we chat about those times, and I won't risk my position without some consideration, if you get my meaning.
Here's 5 guineas. How's that?
Oh, Lord, you're too kind.
Money makes the world go around.
You see, I was alone at a tavern that night, and I was...
I won't say anything. Want $5? Okay, so I was there at 12 o'clock p.m.
I learned that the actress and the costumier had taken to their heels.
And what did you do then?
I made my way to the inn with all haste to learn what they'd taken in their sudden departure. You must understand my position. I was solely responsible for the security of the luggage and troop properties. Can you then imagine my surprise when I saw that nothing was missing? Absolutely nothing. They hadn't even taken their personal items. I can understand that of a man like Jeffries, but it was most unusual for a lady such as Miss Veronica. So the idea came to me that perhaps they hadn't truly left, you see.
And what of Dwight Richards?
I learned that Mr. Richards had been seized by the local authorities. It seemed he was under suspicion for the murder of the missing lovers. This was too incredible. And then there's another odd thing that weighs on my mind. When we finally returned to England, Mr. Richards asked me to do him a small personal service. What was strange was that he insisted I keep the matter confidential and not breathe a word of it to anyone.
What kind of service?
So you're gonna tell me?
Small room with an iron door
'Cause I gave you $5.
backstage. It was used to store the stage lights and fireworks. He asked me to help him move all of Miss Veronica's personal belongings to the room. Every little thing, without exception. Her large trunk, her dresses, all of it.
Where is this room?
The end of the passage, but there is one difficulty. You see, Mr. Richards has the only key to the room's iron door. because only he has a complete set of keys to this building.
Goodbye, my friend.
My respects, my lord.
No, 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 no. Damn it.
Would you like anything?
Goodbye, my Closed. Closed. Closed.
Okay, hold on. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna look this up because I'm not about to walk back and forth a million places. Oh.
She's...
Do you have a complete set of keys to the theatre?
Oh, yes. Take them. But you will see to their safe return.
Of course!
Goodbye, sir.
I like him. He's just like, yeah, sure, detective. Here you go. Gracias. I would have not known to talk to him. I wasn't really paying attention who might have a set of keys. I thought he said Dwight had a set of keys.
Watson, stay there and inform me if Richards arrives.
All right, Holmes.
Let us see whether we can find other evidence. A gift from the gods. I need something. Nice pattern made of encrusted nacre. What does it mean? This lock has never been forced. I have no interest in this.
Then...
That is of no use to me.
I'm confused. What am I supposed to do? Okay, so the earring is a key, but like where? Oh!
I see. To open the safe...
I'm an idiot. I was looking at the wrong spot. Lots of back and forth right now.
I cannot take her ear. I should show her one of my hints.
Oh, my stars.
Would you mind lending me your earring? I shall give it back to you in a few moments.
Certainly. Maybe you would like to borrow Doris's earring as well. I don't believe she would give it to you, but to me, certainly. If you wait here, I will get it for you.
Thank you.
Closed. Watson, stay there and inform me if Richards arrives.
All right, Holmes.
Okay, I am actually very close to finishing this game, so I'm going to try to stick it through.
It is elementary. Richards and Miss Davenport standing in front of the old Fairfax Theatre. But who is this third man? Descriptions of exotic landscapes. Nothing of interest.
Well, well, gentlemen, you arrive at precisely the right moment.
Is your good mood a sign that you have found something of interest?
Absolutely, Holmes. It seems to me I caught the right end this time.
What? Really?
We learned about it only by chance. It appears that at 1 o'clock this morning, Grimble arranged for his solicitors to send his demands to the court for the appropriation of Bromsby Enterprises. My men will spare nothing in their search for the elusive Grimble.
Lestrade, pray, continue.
Then I followed your advice and we advanced further into our investigation of Mr. Richards. Did you know that his true name is Gaetano Riccardino? As this Mr. Riccardino, at age 19, he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for armed robbery of a fair store. And who would you think the complainant was in this case? In truth, a certain Melvin Bromsby. This new evidence of his criminal past makes him another principal suspect in these murders.
Very interesting. Any other findings?
It would seem that Grimble and Richards are old associates. They were both intimately involved in the sale and transfer of the Fairfax Theatre. These two make quite a pair, don't you agree?
Well, Lestrade, I'll keep my thoughts on these matters secret for the moment.
Bah, you're not playing according to Hoyle. Really, Holmes, you must at least tell me your opinions on Richards.
Mr. Richards is an intelligent person. He is a man of great personal resources. If I had the power of Scotland Yard at my disposal, I would take all steps necessary to ensure that Mr. Richards is secure within a prison cell. And the sooner the better for all concerned. When the case involves murder, it is not wise to underestimate any possibilities.
You are a good man, Holmes. I swear upon my name that within the space of an hour our friend Mr. Richards will be warming a cold cell at Dartmoor.
Very well, my friend. By the way, I would like to see you tomorrow at Sherringford Hall to discuss in greater detail some of the more puzzling elements of this case. Can I expect you?
I would not miss it for the world. This is most fortuitous, as Miss Bromsby also invited me to the hall. I was told they had good news to share, and it seems to me an engagement announcement must be at hand.
Of course.
We shall see you tomorrow. Let us return to Baker Street.
Well, is Lestrade right? This case does seem resolved.
There is but one piece missing that I need to complete this puzzle. No, it's not very important from the criminal point of view, but from the economic aspects of this case, it is essential. Regarding the question of whether Lestrade is correct, I will give you 2 items that should provide the answer that you seek. The first is a table representing the shoe sizes of the main characters in this case. Examine it carefully, Watson.
A parcel for you, Mr. Holmes?
Ah, this would be Mycroft. Here is the final piece, which completes our puzzle, Watson.
Would this be the second element?
What second element?
You have just said that in order to determine if Lestrade is correct, I would need to consider 2 items. You told me about the shoe sizes, and I ask if this news article is the second clue.
Oh, no account. The second clue is a question. A very simple question. The answer will take the grass under the feet of several English citizens, for if they cannot even guess the answer to this question, they are for the gallows. The question is as follows. Watson, do you think that Horace Fowler slept with a cushion? It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings. The question should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence
Okay.
received during the investigation.
Here we go again. First off, gonna read this. Gonna read this. Then this third guy, he must be a tall dude with red hair. That's my guess. Raymond Waters. Early this morning, the lifeless body of Raymond Waters, a well-known engineer, was found on the lane to the Market District at the early point in the investigation. It was found that a brawl was the cause of his unfortunate demise. The day of his funeral service has not yet been announced. I'm not sure how Mr. Waters involves in this. That's I don't understand. Desperate message. I can't believe that you would take it all back. Everything can now be finished between us. Let us meet tonight, I beg you. All suspects' foot sizes. Sir Bronsby, Anson, 10. Coach Lamb, Harrington, 9. Patterson, Horace Fowlett, 6. Miss Bromsby, Miss Lambert, 4. Huh. Alright. Let's do this. Are there several sets of keys from the Aston Theater? Yes. And that is based on what Dwight Richards told us. Or, yes. Did one of the actresses lose a red-haired wig? Wait. Yes, she did. Yes. Because she said she was missing hers. Could the discovery in the dressing room be connected to the case? Yes. That one? Oh, wait. 30. One was missing a uniform, military officer uniform. Yes. And then, we're looking for a button from the artillery room. A button from an artillery uniform, but we thought it was fake. It was found in the kitchen. And then we found a missing one in the theater. Could the writing on the message to Veronica Davenport be found elsewhere? To the great actress with all my encouragement, Veronica Davenport. I'm gonna say yes, because why would there be... That's Bronsby's writing. No. Here. I think this one. I could be wrong. I think. I could be wrong about this. Let's see.
We must have made an error once.
That's fair.
Should be
That's
answered
completely
yes or
fair.
no, and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Okay, we're going to go through one time and then I'm going to check my answers because I am trying to finish up the stream soon. So I will go through one more time, try guessing one more time, and we'll see. So let's just fact check myself here. There are indeed 2 keys, so that's right. That has to be right. Yes, that one's right. That has to be right. So it has to be this one. I am looking for nicer writing. That's not it. We're looking kind of a nicer writing. Oh.
We must have made an error. The question
No, that's
should
fair.
be answered yes or no, and justified by the evidence.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I can't believe that you would... Oh! Okay, hold on. Could the writing message be found elsewhere? Let's look at the writing on the message. I can't believe that you would take it all back. Everything could be not be finished between us. Alright. Let's look at that I. And that E. I think it's one of these. Okay. No. 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 That's not it either. No, that's not it. No, that's still horses, valets riding. No, that's horses, valets riding. That's Bromsby's riding.
We must have made an error.
Damn it.
The question should be answered yes. We must have made an error. What the question
Alright,
should be
I'm looking
yes
this
or
up.
no, and justified by the evidence or testimony received.
I'm not
during the
exactly sure. Maybe it's like both of those cards? That's my guess there. Alright, let's go through and make sure I got these correct. Are there several sets of keys to Aston Theater? Yes. And you got that right. Oh, Bruce Aston. But he also says it's just a small thing, I guess. They left the keys. Well, I guess that works too. Yes, got the second question right. Got the third question right, absolutely. Called that one out. And it was supposed to be both the cards, not the picture. That was the next thing I was going to try. The antique dealer and the French visit cards, so they're the same person, essentially, is what that's saying.
It is simplicity itself, Watson. We have answered all the questions.
Congratulations, you have successfully completed your investigation. The following questions are optional, and you do not have to answer them correctly to reach the last step of the game. Who kills Sir Bromsby? Since we don't have to get this, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to answer these. And then I'm going to check before I go. Hold on. Can we go back? Okay, cool. I'm going to answer these, and then we're going to check one by one. All right? Who kills Sir Bromsby? I, without looking, am going to say Lieutenant Harrington. Who killed Horace Fowlet? Horace Fowlet. I want to say Wyatt Collins. Who'd killed Johansson? Wyatt Collins as well. Who killed Veronica Davenport? Nobody. I have no clue. Who killed Jeffries? Or the other? Lieutenant Harrington for that one. Jeffries. I want to say Wyatt Collins as well. Wyatt Collins for that one. I think I'm... You did not answer correctly. Do you want to proceed to the final movie anyway? Oh, okay. Okay. I see how this is. Alright. Alright, we'll go through one more time, and then I'll check my answers. Who killed Sir Bromsby? Lieutenant Harrington. Who killed Horace Fowlet? I want to say Wyatt Collins. Who killed Johansson? Wyatt Collins. Veronica Davenport. Nobody, because I have no clue. Who killed Jeffries? Lieutenant Harrington. Who killed Hunter? Lieutenant Harrington. You did not answer correctly. Alright. Goes to show. Let's see how correct I was. Because I really do want to get this game ended. Alright, let's start from the top. Who killed Sir Bromsby? Lieutenant Harrington. Got that. Who killed Horace Fowlett? Wyatt Collins. I got that one. Who killed Johansson? And it says Jeffries. So Jeffries was his own person. Where is he? It doesn't have Jeffries as an option. What the hell? Is what the hell? Ah, come on. I'm getting no internet right now. No! Don't do this to me. I need the answer. What is that guy's name? Did it tell us the guy's name? What is the guy's name? What's his first name? I'm getting nothing right now. I don't understand how I'm still live. Come on. What is going on? And I can't even look it up. Damn it. This is frustrating. Who killed Jeffries? Nobody. And that one was obvious. Did not answer correctly. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. Richards, Poole, Lamb. Lamb Jeffries? Is it Lamb Jeffries? I'm guessing it's Lamb Jeffries. You did not answer correctly. Okay. I don't know, man. What is going on? Wait, I already did that, didn't I? It's just a trial and error at this part. Kirby. Yeah. What the fuck? There's no Jeffries an option. Okay, a bunch of silver earrings are coming up. This is annoying. Damn it, man. Dude, none of these things are helping me out. Okay, so give the answers, dude. What the hell? I'm so confused. Because it says it's Jeffries, but there's no option for Jeffries. QA. I literally do not have an option for Jeffries, or I'm just blind. Like, I literally don't have an option for Jeffries. Which is quite irritating. Oh.
Cabby?
I wasn't even finished, it just went on anyway. Alright, well, that's basically the game deciding for me, like, okay, you're done.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I feel relieved that everything is settled. The inspector told me that you were not as useful as you had hoped in this case, but you did your best, and I am grateful to you.
Dear Lestrade. Well, the inspector deliberately...
We got the
manipulated my
ending,
role in this
regardless.
matter so that I could reveal a secret to you.
I wish Lieutenant Harrington could be here now, but...
He had to leave for London on a very urgent business.
But how could you know?
It is my business to know, Miss Bromsby. Thus, I am able to tell you about the case of the silver earring. Everything begins on that sad afternoon, which was to celebrate your birthday, and ended with the untimely death of your father. Miss Bromsby, you did not murder
Let's
your
see how
father.
accurate I
You
am.
touched your hand that day and did not detect even the slightest smell of gunpowder. I also
Sherlock Holmes.
that proved the shot was fired from behind the second side door. You were not seen at that door, but where did the murderer go after taking his shot? Everyone who tried to exit through the side entrance found it blocked. According to witnesses and other evidence, none of the guests could have possibly been the murderer, because they were all present in the ballroom. No one left through the service door, and traces confirm that no one could have fled by using the staircase. The windows in the kitchen, as elsewhere in the manor, were appointed with thick bars, thus they offered no escape. So did he vanish into thin air? In fact, One of the parties did leave the ballroom and went to the kitchen corridor. He left to meet his accomplice, who was not an invited guest. This accomplice was a professional actor who was disguised to resemble our missing invitee. This guest hid under voile in the shadow of a statue and waited for his moment. Meanwhile, his twin acted out his part in the ballroom and provided the murderer with a perfect alibi. When the killer heard the applause, he left his hiding place, aimed, took his shot, and hit his target. It is important to know that the actor was well placed. He secured entry to the manor by impersonating a French head waiter. Using his position, he persuaded those in charge to use long tablecloths and to arrange the tables in a most peculiar manner.
I see. So the other guy dressed as Lieutenant Harrington.
Concealed under the tables. As he neared the side door, he rose from beneath the last table and acted as if he had been jostled and fallen. However, as he stood, he accidentally snagged a small piece of his dirty glove upon a chair. When he arrived at the door, which was held closed by the murderer, he tapped on it using a prearranged code and was allowed entry. He exited to the corridor while his partner continued to hold the door shut against all others. The actor discarded his disguise in the deep kitchen well, helped himself to 2 bottles of excellent whiskey, and quietly went outside. The assassin waited several minutes. Then, in the last seconds of the confusion, he returned to the ballroom. Thus, we have the crime committed by an individual whom everyone swears was in the room when the shot was fired.
But this agrees with my conclusions. Richard is an actor, and everyone swears that Grimble was in the room. I didn't consider the course of events as you described, Holmes, but admitted...
That's kind of how I thought it happened, but I can't remember how the actors switched.
Your theory presumes that Grimble is an excellent shot, which is false. It also takes on faith that Sir Bromsby had discovered the misappropriations, supplying Grimble his motive, but irrefutable proof that neither Grimble nor Richards were guilty waited at Horace Fowlett's, the matter of his pillow.
But there was no pillow at Horace Fowlett's.
Nevertheless, Mr. Fowlett slept with one. When I arrived at his home, I believed him already dead. Therefore, the news of his hasty departure came as no surprise. From the evidence obtained at his home and the statements of his neighbor, I learned the following. On the evening of his death, Mr. Fowlett was visited by a man who desired to sell him some exotic trifle. While this man distracted Mr. Fowlett, a second man quietly crept into the house and tried to open his safe. This individual was well acquainted with the house and the location of the safe, but when he failed to open it, he most likely became enraged and killed Mr. Fowlett. This individual, Miss Bromsby, was your cousin, Wyatt Collins, who returned to England under the name Johansson.
But what about his pillow?
Mr. Fowlett's pillow had vanished. Later, Dr. Watson discovered a feather from the pillow in the train compartment used by the man who impersonated Fowlett. But why did Fowlett's impersonator take the pillow, and why didn't the station manager notice it? Mr. Fowlett was short, but very portly. In order to imitate him, the man used the pillow to create the appearance of a stouter man.
Right.
There is no other explanation. This man was a much leaner man than Mr. Fowlett, Mr. Grimble, or Mr. Richards.
Then, Holmes, who did murder Sir Bromsby? And for what reason?
You'll see, Lestrade, when it's a question of multiple murders, except for the deviant ones, there are 2 primary motives, revenge and greed. Wyatt Collins' presence at Fowlett's tells us his motive was about Bromsby's wealth. He went there for the express purpose of stealing the will so that he would receive at least a portion of Bromsby's estate. If his uncle had died with no will found, Collins would have been entitled to a share of the inheritance under English law.
But
of course.
my cousin failed in his attempt, and the evidence clears my name, though I am to inherit. Why were my father and cousin murdered? Besides, tomorrow I am to announce my engagement, and will be married soon.
Holmes, hold on. There is a flaw in your reasoning. There is only one key for the door to the cement factory, and Grimble is the only person known to have it. So he must be directly involved in the murder of Collins.
Is that true, Lestrade? Mr. Richards told me that there was indeed a second key which was lost. And have you forgotten the murder of the barman hunter? A young man without any criminal record, whose sole interests were painting and flowers. Why was he murdered in cold blood, with no signs of forceful entry or theft of his lodgings? Simply put, he was killed because he was present when your father was murdered. But why Hunter? What did he see or hear? And above all, how did he acquire the earring of Miss Veronica Davenport, the leading actress of the Fairfax Theatre and Dwight Richards' mistress?
I can stand this no more. My thoughts are dazed. Will you finally reveal who murdered my father?
The murderer? Here he comes now. I understand your feelings of
Duh.
opportunity, but I've never been more serious. You must know that the first person who enters this room is the murderer of your father, Miss Bromsby, and I will provide irrefutable proof of their guilt.
I was fucking calling it from the beginning. The only thing that confuses me is Johansson and Jeffrey stuff.
What's going on?
She knows.
But how? I mean...
She knows.
What does she know? I don't understand. Whatever
Oh, she knows.
Oh no, you understand me clearly, Mr. Harrington, and you also, Spencer. Or should I say, Mr. Jeffries?
Explain yourself, Mr. Holmes.
Okay, that's what it is. I put down Spencer. Finally worked.
To Miss Bromsby about the truth of her father's murder, but I can tell the story again from the very beginning. It begins several years ago. Wyatt Collins, the nephew of Mr. Bromsby, is forced by his uncle to leave England for South America. His hatred is fostered by the ingratitude he perceives in Sir Bromsby. Wasn't his uncle's career financed by his mother's money? In Collins' mind, Melvyn Bromsby owes him an eternal debt of gratitude, and was thus obliged to finance Collins' indolent lifestyle, fulfilling his every need. Here is our first criminal, Wyatt Collins.
Called it.
We have you, Mr. Harrington. You were a brilliant student at the military academy, and are an excellent shot, are you not? You were the only person at the reception with sufficient skills to make the shot that took Sir Bromsby's life. During my investigation, I learned that ex-officers of Her Majesty's Army enjoy great favor around the world for administrative...
Can't come to the door right now.
You left India and made your way to Brazil.
I'll come in
where
a second.
You obtained the position as warden of the prison in Guaquiamo. Do not try to deny your presence there. The pictures in your hunting portfolio could have been taken nowhere else in the world except Guaquiamo.
I was thinking about that when she was telling, when he was telling her that.
Mr. Jeffries, your arrival in Guaquiamo set things in motion. The theatre company had come to Brazil as part of their worldwide tour. You had been involved with the lovely Veronica Davenport and loved her with a passionate yet possessive love. However, Miss Davenport did not share your affections. She in fact tried several times to end your affair prior to the company's arrival in Guaquiamo. It seems she was truly devoted to Dwight Richards and would never leave him. After you arrived, you frequented the town's bawdier spots. This is where you first met Mr. Harrington, and you quickly became close companions. It seems tedium and heartbreak do bring certain people together. After the performance, maddened by alcohol and grief, you killed Miss Davenport because she had rejected your love. You then fled to your newfound friend, the warden.
If they just put the name as Jeffries and not Spencer.
In a show of friendship, he helped dispose of her corpse and directed suspicions towards your rival, Dwight Richards. Afterwards, you lay low, leaving the others to believe that you had been killed or had gone missing. You stayed hidden until they had departed, and you must have kept Miss Davenport's earring as some morbid souvenir. No doubt you also retained not only the key to the Fairfax Theatre, but the keys from Aston's, where you had been employed several years earlier. Here, then, is our third felon, Mr. Jeffries. Life was difficult in Brazil for our trio. Mr. Jeffries rarely went out, Mr. Harrington's men were talking behind his back, and Mr. Collins' funds were inadequate. One evening, Collins spoke of his cousin, who, in a few months' time, was to return to England from finishing school. She was also the sole heir to one of the greatest fortunes in England. Imagine these three men besotted with alcohol, considering the wealth that would one day pass to this slip of a girl. A terrible plan was devised. Several days later, they left for England, false papers for two of their party in hand, resolved to seize a portion, if not all, of this great inheritance.
Incredible.
Yes, incredible. And horribly true. At first, their plan was to forge a duplicate will or destroy the original so that Mr. Collins would receive a share of the estate. This would happen soon enough, as they would murder Sir Bromsby at his daughter's birthday reception. It was essential that Collins enter the country under false papers, so that neither his uncle nor the authorities would be alerted to his presence in England. This would avoid any suspicion attaching him for his uncle's death when he arrived to claim his inheritance. They quickly put their plans into effect. Mr. Jeffreys arrived at the household in the guise of a stylish French head waiter and studied the lay of the manor. Mr. Harrington, the assassin, would accompany a person with rather poor eyesight to the reception, so that the illusion of the fake Mr. Harrington would go unchallenged. As the head waiter, Jeffreys was in a unique position to study the guest list. He quickly learned that two of the guests, Miss Rowntree and Colonel Patterson, had both poor eyesight and were unaccompanied. Lieutenant Harrington was quite busy in the days before the reception. He courted Miss Rowntree with great dedication and made fast friends with the Colonel. He hoped to secure one, if not two, invitations to the reception. Your arrival as the Colonel's guest was your first error, Harrington. Is it credible that a young officer who left the army because of his hatred towards all military authority would easily befriend a man who embodies everything that he detests?
He's calling you out, bro.
And you obtained your invitation. Mr. Jeffreys, as head waiter, took great care that the tables and tablecloths were arranged specifically to accommodate their schemes. Mr. Jeffreys then secured the disguise for his role as the false Lieutenant Harrington.
Look, I was just like him.
He remembered that an officer's uniform, similar to Lieutenant Harrington's,
Ah.
and a red wig, identical to the colouring of the lieutenant's hair, were in storage at the Fairfax Theatre. He learned that the company had taken up residence at the site of the old Aston Theatre, for which he still had the key. It was therefore a simple matter for him to acquire these items for his masquerade. They now only lacked the will, which Mr. Collins presumed was kept at Flowlet's house. Their plan was to take these papers prior to the murder of Sir Bromsby, so that Flowlet would be unaware of either their presence or a substitution until it was too late. But things went badly. Mr. Jeffreys tried to divert Mr. Flowlet, but he must have been alerted by some noise, as Collins struggled vainly to open the safe. Upon being discovered, Collins killed Fowlet on the spot. The two conspirators then left the house in such a way that witnesses believed it was Fowlet himself who had left. They would now have to find another way to get hold of the money, because no doubt Sir Bromsby had disinherited Collins in favour of his daughter. They decided to take the money from his daughter, a young, naive and vulnerable young woman. On the day of reception, Mr. Harrington arrived with Jeffreys, disguised as his servant Spencer and the Colonel. With the promise of whiskey, Jeffreys easily secured the unwitting aid of two fellow servants.
That's why he grabbed the whiskey.
He wagered that he could pinch 2 or 3 good bottles of liquor from the kitchen if his companions would cover for him. I have just explained what happened next. After the shooting, he took 2 bottles of excellent whiskey. Only someone knowledgeable would have taken these 2 bottles over the others, and Mr. Jeffreys had been formerly employed at a luxurious hotel in France. Upon his return, he gave an accounting to his fellow servants, did his hair, and left the manor. The promised delivery of the liquor and his frightened look secured the 2 men's cooperation in providing his alibi. They could not have known his true role in these events. The one problem for the conspirators was the barman, Simon Hunter. He had perfect eyesight, unlike the Colonel, and realized that the man who claimed to be near the bar at the time of the murder had in fact lied. He hinted as much to Mr. Harrington and most certainly intended blackmail. As they were short on funds, the accomplices gave him Miss Davenport's earring as collateral and pledged to return with the money he demanded. That night, when Lieutenant Harrington visited us in London, he had just come from Simon Hunter's. Hunter had told Harrington that the earring had been pawned and he would not reveal the name of the shop unless Harrington paid him his money. Mr. Harrington ruthlessly killed Hunter, and the earring so precious to Mr. Jeffreys was lost. Earlier that morning, Jeffreys lured Collins to the cement factory on the pretext of fabricating false evidence against Grimble. But they no longer needed Collins to acquire the Bromsby fortune.
So they killed him.
The young heiress. Then, after a reasonable time, They would cause her untimely death, and they would take it all.
Knew
So
it.
Mr. Jeffries murdered Collins and made sure his body was barely recognizable.
So that he would come off as Johansson.
Affect their plans, as they believed leaving the corpse at the cement factory would direct suspicion towards Grimble. When Mr. Harrington came to see us, he learned we were hot on Collins' trail and had traced his movements up to the factory. He assumed we would go there within the hour and left to quickly round up.
I like how everybody's just listening. That the criminals aren't just like, alright, everyone put your hands up.
Theater knew an Asian of questionable talents who had no visible ties with this case and could attack us without drawing suspicion their way. We avoided this attack, and from that moment, I was convinced of Lieutenant Harrington's involvement in the conspiracy.
I was convinced the moment that he opened his mouth.
Near the monastery outside of London.
She's beautiful. Alright, dude.
England in his past, and might have thought to hide Collins in the forest near the Richmond's Abbey. The very day that I was there, he tried to destroy all evidence of Collins' murder. Fortunately, he did not manage to destroy everything. It seems Collins, foreseeing his possible death, left a small surprise for his accomplices.
Ha 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 ha!
He missed, except by someone who observes all and misses nothing.
Sherlock
Clearly
Holmes.
Some draft to lull us to sleep, Mr. Holmes. Lavinia, surely you can't believe these mad accusations. They arise from nothing. What proof do you offer for what you say? None.
Believe what you will, Mr. Harrington. I will warn you that Mr. Collins left a letter written in his own hand, which named yourself and Mr. Jeffries and accused you both of complicity in the murder of his uncle. At this very moment,
He's lying right now.
Conducting a search of your rooms. They will find the evidence that, when added to the accusations within this letter, will prove.
We didn't find that, but he's trying to like get them to do something to basically confess.
From the pillow, which was taken from Horace Fowlett's. These items prove my deductions. I suggest we wait here for their arrival with these proofs, and I assure you our wait will be brief.
Bravo, Mr. Holmes. Well done.
See?
Accept my apologies, my dear Lavinia. I think under the circumstances...
He technically didn't have that letter, but now he's pretty much confessing.
We had to give it our best shot.
Where is the earring now? You will tell me, where is it? Unless you tell me at once where the earring is, no one will leave this room alive. Don't you understand? You are all going to die.
They are all yours, Lestrade. I suggest you return with your agents to London.
Sherlock was like just calm. He goes like, yeah, try me. You ain't got the nerve.
Watson, let us escort Miss Bromsby to her rooms. She will need her rest.
Holmes, Collins never named either Harrington or Jeffries in his letter.
Indeed, Watson, but they could not have known. I played my bluff, and they believed me.
And Grimble, where did he appear from?
You can now boast that one of the most influential men in England served as your driver. Since my visit to Fowlett's, I knew that Grimble had nothing to do with this crime. I asked him to assist with the investigation, and it was at my request that he took steps to acquire Bromsby Enterprises. He gained us precious time by forcing Harrington and Jeffries to wait and see if Miss Bromsby would inherit.
Which is why he was showing that thing with the dominoes. Well, not entirely, but yes.
To send the letter, which lured the two murderers away from the hall. I needed a moment to explain everything to Miss Lavinia. It would be dreadful if she fell into the hands of her father's killer. From the beginning, Grimble was concerned only with saving her inheritance. He never once doubted her innocence.
Nevertheless, didn't he misappropriate those funds?
Indeed, but not for his own profit. It was solely to protect his friend Bromsby. An ex-architect with whom he had quarrelled, Mr. Waters, had contacted Sir Bromsby before this intrigue.
Ah.
Waters learned from Captain Bowie that Sir Bromsby had encouraged certain actions against workers hired to build a bridge in India. That project was the bridge over the Kalidasa Abyss. Waters blackmailed Bromsby from afar. Grimble received the letters and considered them to be quite serious. He knew his hot-tempered friend well and preferred to conceal the blackmail attempt for fear of disastrous consequences. So, Grimble made regular payments to Waters in exchange for his silence. Unfortunately, Collins discovered the arrangement while he was working at the cement factory and threatened to reveal everything. Grimble could not afford for that to occur. He managed to rid himself of Collins by sending him to Fowler's. Then it was Bromsby's turn to discover the blackmail by sheer accident. He was angered, but before he could decide his next move, Mr. Waters died suddenly and removed all threat. When Grimble learned that Waters had died, he confessed all to Bromsby. He noted that the money paid was a pittance when measured against Bromsby enterprises, and that the same amount could now be applied in other ways. India had enriched them so greatly, and Bromsby had been cursed over the harm done to the Indian people in his employment. It was decided that these same funds would now be sent on a monthly basis to a Bombay...
Ah, that makes a lot of sense now.
It is possible that Bromsby intended to increase his patronage, and this was the important news he intended to reveal to the press at his daughter's reception. It was she who had harshly reproached him regarding his behavior towards the Indians in his employ. Do you remember the words from that poem which he had written into his notes? It said that the ungrateful always die miserably.
Indeed, Holmes. But there is one thing that I still don't understand. Why did you ask Lestrade to put Richards behind bars? He wasn't guilty of any crime, but you treated him as a murderer.
I advised Lestrade that it would be prudent to place Richards in custody so we could protect him from harm. Mr. Richards is a wise and intelligent man. He would have recognized Harrington and Jeffries on sight. When he realized that Jeffries was alive and that I possessed the missing earring, he would have drawn the same conclusions as I. So this investigation would have been stopped cold by one or two more murders.
I see.
Well, Watson, you seem to know everything. Tell me, please, that small missive which I can see on the desk. It contains 2 invitations to the opera's opening night, does it not? If so, we shall finally have our opportunity to hear this marvelous soprano. Well, what do you say, Watson?
Case closed. Great game. Excellent story. It was really fun trying to figure it out for myself. I already knew that Lieutenant Harrington was involved and Wyatt Collins were involved, but I didn't exactly know how. I suspected Lieutenant Harrington immediately the first time I ever watched this game, so that was something that was the same regardless. But it was kind of fun to go through and kind of piece it together officially. The only things that confused me was the stuff with Jeffries. Obviously the last question, it was kind of weird, but it's selecting Spencer. I think they just want you to piece together that Spencer was Jeffries in that case. And I always thought it was kind of funny that, like, this guy was just totally sloshed while the other two were drinking and they weren't even that bad. But the cinematics in this are quite impressive for it's a huge leg up from Mystery and the Mummy, and I had a lot of fun. We ended up streaming longer than I planned. Thank goodness for my girlfriend willing to let me call her in the morning to make up for not being able to call her tonight so I could finish this game, so we didn't have to have an awkward, like, 30-minute stream or something, or 2 games in one stream, thank goodness. But, that ending sequence where it all comes together, it makes a lot of sense after playing the game. Now, if you didn't play the game, it might be a bit confusing, but all the documents, everything you find just seem to really come together. So, great mystery game. I had a lot of fun playing this. And I think the next one is Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. So that should be really exciting to get to, for sure. So, thank you guys for watching, and I think I might stream Tuesday. I don't know. I have to kind of relook at my schedule. I've got to change a couple things around for this week. I do plan on being out of town next weekend, or at the very least be busy with work. It's one of those two. If I don't have to be busy for work, I'm going to be out of town visiting my girlfriend, which I haven't seen her in a month, so we'll be doing that. But the next time I should be streaming is Tuesday for now. I decided to stream a mystery game tonight instead of tomorrow because I should be busy during the nighttime, and I can't. I don't stream in the mornings at all, so I decided to stream tonight instead. So Tuesday's the next day I'm looking at, so if you want to check out the stream, I should be continuing Resident Evil 0, and I think we're about over 2/3 of that game done. maybe just getting there. So that we're getting closer to finishing that game as well. Regardless, if I don't stream Tuesday, look for Thursday or Friday. Well, Thursday, and then probably not Friday. But yeah, just be on the lookout. I should have this post on YouTube by Wednesday. So fun. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Case closed finally. Come back for next Mystery Monday or Suspicious Sunday so we can start Sherlock Holmes The Awakened. So thanks again. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow the Twitch channel. Follow my YouTube channel. All the above. See you guys.